And good morning, everybody. Welcome to SNSN. It is, they made a movie with what we're entitling today, The Day After.
That's a good title, Mike.
The Day After. Now, we didn't get hit with a nuclear war like the movie did, but there is quite a change coming our way, not just here, but all over the place.
All over the place.
All over the country.
Yeah.
All over the state of Connecticut.
Correct. And I guess the one in Virginia was the one everybody was watching, and that guy won. The Republican one in Virginia. So,
wow.
And I think the one in the New Jersey one now is kind of like tied too. So there's another one everybody's looking at.
Are you talking about the governorship or the senator?
Governorship.
Okay, the senator is actually more important, in my opinion.
No,
than the
well,
governor.
what they're saying is and I hate to bring up.
Good morning.
So he's got a dress.
Wow, here we go.
Yeah, he's got a suit and tie on now.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, what can we say? He's
Can you switch
yeah, I will.
with him? We're gonna have you come over here.
Over there?
No, well, you can go over here if you want to. Give me a big hug.
They want to have you on the camera. So.
Oh, there we go. Good at.
There we go. I don't care.
Over there? Okay.
I don't care.
There we go.
I usually, I'm good. You
Here he is.
I don't care if you are selected. You're not getting much here.
get your
wow.
cable crossed, Paul. Why don't you unplug your cable? Replug
Nothing worse than a cross cable.
You're right.
Crotchety retiree.
So was there a major sweep up in Plainfield also?
Yeah, we had a campaign slogan. It was 21 for 21. So there was 21 candidates, 21 openings, and we swept. So
Every one of them.
every one.
Everyone. Wow.
Yeah, I think there was a message put out there.
Yep.
There was a big message
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Part of it, though, is you have to work hard to get to that level.
Yeah.
And I think the people that voted were appreciative of the fact of what we've done over the past couple of years. And and again, that message needs to be heard. And I think it's time. As you look across the eastern part of the state, there's a lot of that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely a lot of that.
Yeah.
Now, do you think a big piece of that was Amazon coming there?
Not really.
No,
No.
I don't even think that. No.
No, I think that there's if you look at my resume, it's like there's a lot of things that were there, and while that is a big piece of it, there were a lot of things that we did to make sure that we were moving forward. I definitely have to thank all the businesses that came in, inclusive of that is Amazon. All the work we've been doing behind the scenes and the things we've been doing for the taxpayers to make sure that their taxes did not increase. The steady movement forward and trying to get a plan together for a long term.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it was momentum that, it wasn't only, I think you're exactly right. From opinion from the cheap seats over here, I think it was more about momentum and what because you guys didn't have any really momentum before you came in. Now all of a sudden it started going.
Well, I think a lot of that momentum is generated right from the president's office of the country. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think people are finally waking up that we got to stop doing everything for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. We'll see
So-
how that goes.
So we have Kevin Cunningham in. He is the first selectman re-elect in Plainfield. I called him at what time did I call you?
Oh God. Well, we talked the
4:30
day
this
before,
morning?
but we
That's
also
right. I told him. I said you were. We projected you to win at 6:02 a.m. So
no, it was 6:01.
6:01. That's right. All right.
That's what he cast his vote.
Yes. Yeah.
But just to be fair, I think that all the candidates that ran did a great job, and that goes across the table to all the parties. You know, you hit the doors, you put your information out there. There was no issues of slinging any mud. It was a matter of just doing what you had to do to get your message to the public, and I think that's the way to do it.
So what do you do going forward now?
Get some rest.
I don't know if that's in your DNA.
I took
Kevin,
3
or not.
days off before. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were 7.
Yeah. No, it's you have to plan for the next things that are coming up. I mean, Amazon finishing up and actually being operational in July of next year is fantastic.
That is quick.
Yeah.
It's quicker than I thought.
So for that, it's not just okay. We're going to wait until they open the doors. We have to help them out with job fair and make sure that we can help as a town be supportive in that fashion. But it's not just for them. We're going to be doing a job fair for all of the other businesses because everybody knows. Someone put a post up on a social media site today. I'm looking for a job. Anybody hiring? Someone comes back. Yeah, everybody. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's what it is right now, but we want to help them out. So we'll get the job fairs out there. Job fairs are where people actually come in to talk to you to say, I'm looking for a job. And I think that would be fantastic if we can do that for all the businesses and then one for Amazon as well.
Yeah, that is true. Both casinos are hiring, EB's hiring,
Everybody.
the warehouses in Dayville are hiring.
Yep.
Frito-Lay is really pushing for people.
And I've seen expansion in different businesses. I know Norwich had a couple of them. They were talking about their expansion. While it's difficult times, I see some businesses are really just starting to really open up and do more business.
Mhm.
So that's a great indicator. The question is it because of what their specialty is, or is it because of something else? And we'll find out over time, I guess.
Do you think with COVID hopefully dying down, people are now coming out like the people from Whoville and going, we are here, we are here, we are here, and all of a sudden people are going out to different businesses again. People are eating out again. People are doing things outside. I can tell you one thing. It's like for Halloween, we gave out candy right on I stood outside, had spooky music going on. It was just nice seeing people out and about.
Absolutely. And I think over the last 6 months in Plainfield alone, they've done a majority of events that are starting to see the community come out. There was the food truck vendors that came forward, and we had 2 days with them, and people came out in droves. Any event that we've had, for trick-or-treating, you've had all the, like you said, there's trunk or treat.
Yeah.
We had 3 days in a row, different groups doing trunk or treat, and hundreds of kids came out, and it was fantastic to see families back out again. So,
Right.
yeah, I like the fact that we're actually doing more and more and opening up and seeing things. And the issues with COVID, as long as we're smart, if you don't feel well, don't go out.
Right.
Common sense. But some people don't have that. They have a problem with saying, I can't stay home even though I don't feel good.
Mhm.
How about helping everybody out? Just if you don't feel good, don't come in. Don't do normal activities. Just get better and then go out. But common sense like that should be fine. I think people are starting to realize that they can actually go back out again. So that's great.
Jim, did you have any questions?
Not at the moment.
Paul?
No.
So let me ask you a question. I posed this of some of the winners last night here in Griswold. Especially with Republicans, not just in Eastern Connecticut or the state or even nationwide.
Mhm.
It was a wave that went across the nation. Do you think that maybe some of it, I mean, a lot of it is hard work,
Mhm.
and I think that is, predominant, but do you think some of it is reactionary to what's happening in the United States now as a whole?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I
And it
agree.
should be.
Yeah.
It really should be. If you are seeing that a particular group isn't moving the country forward, and therefore it's not progressing your state or your municipality, then there's some issues all the way down. It's a trickle-down effect. So you've got to be reactionary to what happens and be able to adapt and adjust. And I think that's exactly what happened yesterday.
Well, the other thing too is don't forget the federal level is they're calling mom and pops who are on school boards domestic terrorists. You
Yeah.
think, I don't think that helped them out at all.
No.
You can't, I mean, that's coming from the top all the way down to local. I mean, come on.
There's a better professional way to say that we're having some issues within
Right.
our boards and commissions, and we'd like to be able to work together.
Yeah.
Put your hand across the table and say, let's try to work together. But to call someone a domestic terrorist
Right.
doesn't help that whatsoever.
No, so I think that was the other reason too. A lot of people, I mean, it is like a holy cow. It's across all Eastern Connecticut.
Mhm.
And in my personal opinion, I think if we had a governor running, a governorship, I think we would have a Republican governor today.
Yeah, I think I saw an article that came out a few days ago talking about if there was a rerun of the election. I think that it would come out much differently.
I would think so. Yeah.
I do actually have a question. Do you think that the fact that the town of Plainfield had that infrastructure already in place for Amazon, for anybody, that was a major reason why you won that site, that company, Amazon?
I think that they've been searching and selectively been going around trying to figure out where they can come in. And that is a great site because of what it was.
Yep.
When the dog track was actually built, they also incorporated a pump station for our sewer. So
that was
it's
all
already in place.
Mhm.
So you've got the water sewer line, right off the highway. All they are great help for the infrastructure to start up a business. So that definitely helped out.
'Cause, I mean, they looked at Griswold, but again, there was no infrastructure out there.
Right.
Okay,
And there's
that's being engineered as we speak.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I'm sorry, just checking a couple things out.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually we'll get the infrastructure in, hopefully next year.
and that's one of the things I definitely want to key on for the next couple of years, making sure we continue going forward with the infrastructure, not just water, not just sewer, but also sidewalks. I think those are important pieces. We talked about a sidewalk that was approved for the town of Plainfield. It was leading off from just where McDonald's area is. Eastern Bank is right there.
Yep.
That's where the sidewalk ends. But that area is utilized by people walking to Big Y, or I've seen people in their wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, going underneath the highway overpass area
Really?
Wow.
to get through there. So for safety's sake, I think it's important for that. Now, if you also have the workers that were over at that site for Amazon, going to go back and forth, if they don't have a vehicle, they want to take a walk for a lunch or whatever it is, they can actually go there safely back and forth. So that's a big piece for us for safety for the sidewalk. So I think that's next steps.
That's a good idea because the traffic coming around that corner goes pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Mike Broughton, did I say that? Wait,
Yep,
is it
Mike
Broughton?
Broughton,
Okay. Sorry, Mike. I don't know if it's Broughton or
Just Mike.
just Mike. What he holds? What position does he hold in
He's
Plainfield?
a board of education, and he's also the chairperson for the Republican Town Committee.
He said there wasn't a wave. He goes, it was a big red tsunami.
Tsunami.
Yeah. Good point.
And
Look at that. I can't pronounce Broughton, but I can pronounce tsunami. Yeah. Jeez. It's radio training for you.
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess. It's I don't know. I didn't think when I heard last night, I got a message and said red sweep. I'm like, well, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
And then I found out a couple minutes later.
A red sweep
And-
before, Mike, would mean a couple of Republicans had won.
And then I literally stepped out of town hall and I saw what a red sweep was.
Mhm.
And I came back in and there were a couple people that had looked like they got hit by a Mack truck. So it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
And I don't think with me it was the fact that I'm against these people. It was I just didn't expect it like that.
Right.
So but you're gonna
Does that go to say
No.
something about how hard they're working, what information they're giving to the public? Are they going to hit the doors? Are they putting flyers out? Do they have
Right.
better ideas? All of those things are factors. So I think those are the things that really, and of course, national levels.
No, I'm not saying that they didn't work hard. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that at all. What I'm saying is that I didn't expect it like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was it. It's like you got Marvin Hagler taking on Ray Leonard, back in the day, right? Well,
Slugfest.
right. But who won? Ray Leonard beat the living crap out of him eventually.
Mhm.
Did you expect that? No. I thought marvelous Marvin Hagler was going to just beat him to shreds. So I was shocked.
Well, he was our local hero at that time.
Now, I didn't think that, he's from Massachusetts. Well, he was.
Yeah.
He's gone now.
He lived in Brockton next to me.
Brockton.
Oh, no, I didn't live in Brockton. I lived in Stoughton, which was a bordering town.
Stoughton
Yeah.
rhymes with Broughton.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look at that. Except apparently Mike's wife, according to June Gagney, says his wife says Broughton.
Broughton, huh? Oh.
So only the shadow knows what the real.
That's why I just say
pronunciation
Mike.
is. Mike, yeah, that's really
Can't
it.
go wrong with that.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like it's not that I don't think these people are worthy. It's not that at all. I just didn't expect it to be a sweep like it was.
They put the work in the trenches, Mike. That's
Yeah,
what
well,
it was.
Paul and I talked about it, and one of the things that Paul had said, and we heard from also another resident, and this was on Monday, and this is really going to speak to exactly to your point there, Jim, is that Dana Bennett was everywhere.
Mhm.
She was absolutely everywhere. Whereas this resident said Todd Babbitt wasn't. So how many, I mean, what do you think about that, Paul?
Yeah, visibility was the thing. I mean, we didn't see too many Democratic people that were running. We didn't see them.
Yeah.
Well, one comment I made early on in October was there was all kinds of signs out for the Republican candidates, and there was almost zero signs out for the Democratic candidates until at least a week or more after I had made that comment.
Yeah.
And then they started appearing.
Well,
and I'm not saying that was a big thing.
Yeah.
But I think being out, being visible.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job at doing. They were everywhere. I mean, let's face it. They were out there campaigning, and they came to different businesses, different restaurants. They came here. They were everywhere.
It's
Yeah.
not just that they were there; they gave their message. This is why I'm running. This is what
Yeah.
I want to do.
Yep.
Mhm.
You can't just sit back and say, "I'm here. You know who I am."
Yeah.
You've got to put that message out there.
Yeah.
And even though I did 2 years of work and I thought it was very good work,
You can't rest on your laurels.
no, you got to go out there and tell them what you did,
Yeah.
what your plans are, what you want to do,
Mhm.
and that message is important. Because
Yeah,
if you don't, like you said, if you don't see them, how do you get that message out?
Yeah. But on the other hand, you kind of wonder if that would have made a difference because let's face it, it was a red sweep.
It's a combination.
Not just here.
Yeah.
It had to be a combination.
Do you get
Everywhere.
numbers?
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you get numbers from Griswold?
Yeah. I have we did a Facebook Live from there last night as Glenn Norman read the results. So everybody knew as they were coming out. But to answer your question, like if you like what were the numbers if you're asking that? As far as the first selectman race is concerned, from the polls and EDR, Dana Bennett was up by, I think it was like 80 votes.
Yeah.
Then it was a question of it's going to come down to the absentees. And the absentees, there were 133. So it could have gone either way, even at that point. And Todd Babbitt did take the majority of the absentees, but not enough.
Yeah. It seems to me like if you got over 900 votes, you were in. If
Mhm.
you're down in the 800s, you weren't going to make it. And most of all the winners were up around 900 to 1,000.
Oh, what was the number of vote? What was the number of votes? Because you said 1,200. I said
That was
15 to
more than- I think
1,800.
there was more than
A
that.
little over 1,700.
Yeah, I said 15 to 1,800.
So about 22% of, which is big.
It is
Big.
for a
For
local election.
Local election.
22% of voters came out in Griswold to vote.
So
You know the number in Plainfield
Yes, sir.
or the percentage or?
Oh, percentages. Actually, whatever we had last 2 years ago, was almost the exact.
Okay.
So I'll get you those numbers for percentages, but
Oh, I can figure percentages out. You know,
Yeah.
I just
I know that in our race for selectmen, it was a wide margin. It was 2-1.
that's what it was 2 years ago.
No, actually,
No,
two,
was it?
2 years ago it was I beat the candidate by about 100 and some odd votes. It's very
Oh,
short.
okay.
Oh.
Just this time it was 1909 to 804.
Wow.
So so it's going to be yourself, Art Gagney, and who's
Scott Gardner.
Scott Gardner.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any big changes on the other boards? I mean, or are they pretty much status quo?
They'll all go, for the most part, they'll all change over to Republican led.
Okay.
Percentage-wise, yeah.
That'd be January 1, right?
No, we do.
I told you right away.
In our charter, we go with I think it's the third Tuesday of November. They all are supposed to take
Oh.
office.
So I wonder when do our change? Do anybody know?
No, I told you. I think it's pretty much right away.
Yeah, you're thinking of the president. The presidential.
Well, that's
yeah.
January 1, but I was kind of curious.
Are you having a party that day, or is it?
Party?
I just want to know if I can,
We're coming to your party.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's traditionally in most charters. It
November.
is usually 2 weeks after
Yeah,
election.
gotcha.
You gotta get sworn in, and then you take you go to the meetings as I'll use an example, Board of Education.
Mhm.
Now you have the new membership all there. Then you actually vote on officers at that point.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Before the end of, I think it's before the end of the year, you have to vote on officers.
Now, when you say vote on officers, do the people that are no longer going to be seated on that board? They don't get the vote?
Right. It's just
Okay.
the new group. Yep.
Yeah.
Like for example, in Griswold, Scott Davis is the current Board of Finance chair. That will probably change.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to be 4-3 in favor of the Republicans.
You get Grills, you get Greslick. Who else is
Volak,
Bolak? Okay.
who's from Plainfield.
I know Gary very well.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was a finance board member up in Plainfield, was he
Yes.
not? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't hate the vote because there are a lot of people that have some tremendous experience that maybe people aren't aware of, like Gary Bolak, who we had in here that one day. What about our new second selectman, Richard Matters? I have never met him.
Yeah,
I've met his son-in-law, who lives in Griswold, who's he's big part of the Little League, Daryl Birchman. So his son-in-law, Richard's son-in-law, was first selectman in Franklin for close to, I think, 18 years. So he's our second selectman.
I don't know. Did Grabowski get the third selectman position?
He is out.
Rich is out.
He is out. Todd will be our third selectman. Todd
Wow.
Babbitt.
Okay.
So, but if he refuses that, which I don't think he will. That's just my personal opinion.
I could see him going either way on that.
I don't think so. That's just my personal opinion. It could be wrong, but I don't think so. But he was, because he got more votes than Grabowski. So now if Grabowski had more votes than him, then Todd would be off of the board.
Yeah.
That's how it works in Plainfield too,
Similar.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Once your first selectman is chosen at that point, then everybody else that was running for the first selectman seat goes into the pool of selectmen.
I thought that if you were running as first selectman and only as first selectman, then you did not get one of the other positions.
It depends on how your charter is written.
Okay. All
Yep.
right.
Like that's how ours are written, because we want to then put everybody into the pool and then pick the next two highest numbers.
Yeah.
Every charter is a little different, but I'm not sure what Griswold's looks like.
So Joan is in there. Joan Gagney is putting messages about selling
June.
T-shirts.
Joan.
Joan. I'm calling her Joan. Next time I see you at Walmart, it'll be Joan. So you know what? We're going to take the time and do our own little selfless plug, like the brand new Seal of Griswold T-shirt
Wow.
that people see on the screen. Yep.
Where are we? You don't have a screen in here for that.
No, people can see it.
No, we can't see it.
You know, and if you really want to buy a shirt and really want to make, some make a difference, then get this one.
Can't see it from here.
It's the Griswold Always a Wolverine shirt,
Oh, okay.
and you can put your graduation date on it. And here's how you make a difference. You ready? part of the profits go to Project Safeguard. Does Plainfield have Project Safeguard?
No.
Okay, no, I was just curious because we also have the same shirt for Plainfield.
Oh, really?
We've actually shipped a few to Plainfield already. Where it's a hoodie and it says PHS, and it's got like claw marks on it. You know, it says,
Nice.
and you can put your graduating year right on it. So, yeah, I know. And then we even have the rainbow hoodie to celebrate LGBTQ.
Nothing wrong with that.
So thanks, June.
She's gonna send you our T-shirt so you can.
Yeah, June, send me a T-shirt to 2 North Main Street, Jewett City. Let's see. Angel wants to know if I have a picture of the Plainfield hoodie. Yeah, I do. You know what? Let me put it up there. So, what happens next? What do you do now? You guys won. What do you do? Where do you go from here?
A very short speech I had last night with all of those people that were in audience is that we now don't just get into office, we also have to prove ourselves. We have to continue doing what is right for Plainfield. Mm-hmm. Every board member is responsible. They are responsible to hold themselves at a high standard so they can hold the boards to a high standard. So they're responsible to help the town move forward. So very simple message, but I wanted them to know that they have to do the homework now. They said they wanted to go on a board.
Yep.
So you've got to show up. You've got to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to read all of your literature to make sure that you understand all of planning and zoning. You have to know the rules and regs and laws. So that is an important next step for all of them to step it up. We don't want to look bad. We want to look good, because if you look good, the town looks good.
I got a comment to make, and that is, make sure that you, as a board member, you come in prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get your packet and open it for the first time when you sit down at the table.
Yeah. An hour before and trying to, what is this? Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So we want to make sure that message is loud and clear to all of our new members, that they take their run for office seriously and their position seriously, because we want to make sure that we do the best we can for the town.
Let me tell you, if you're being on probably 5 or 7 different boards in this town, it's a lot of work if you're going to do it well.
I thought a lot of work when I was way back in the day was Board of Education, because there's so many subcommittees.
Yep.
But that's actually true of all boards and committees. There's a lot of work that goes behind it to get the history of what happened in the past, to understand all the rules and regs, so that when you make a vote, it's an intelligent vote. It's with thought, and that it is, again, with the right frame of mind of what you're doing for that board.
And the other comment I'll make is some people, and I'm not throwing, they have an agenda when they run. Okay, get rid of your agenda. Do what's best for the town.
That's a great thought.
I want to just help out Angel here. She
you got the photo finally?
Well, I'm gonna share the screen. There it is. That is what it looks like right there. That's the Plainfield hoodie. It's got the Plainfield Panther hat on it, actually.
I do have a quick message for my
Go for it.
team. You know what we do every Saturday morning? We're going to do it again.
Have donuts?
Not for you. This guy invites me here, and I have to bring the donuts.
Well, you're getting free publicity.
Yeah, that's true. But for the team that we've been doing for August, September, and October, every Saturday morning, we wanted to put our face out there, put our literature, talk to people. We go to the transfer station Saturday morning, 7:00 in the morning.
Good place to eat.
Yep. Excellent. Leftovers.
Boy, that was fast, Paul. Are you used to eating there?
Sometimes Paul is spot
free.
on. Let me tell you.
It's free.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I'm asking those people who are on our committee if they'd like to do that again, to say thank you to the public, and that's what we did last time, is say thank you.
Very good. Very good.
Just make sure you bring the donuts.
You bring the
Don't
donuts.
look for them.
So there's the Plainfield hoodie on there. You go to snsnonline.com, snsnonline.com, and you can go ahead and order one of those, and it will get sent to you. What else?
For somebody-
Angel says she's still waiting for Deviant Donuts.
For somebody like Paul that eats at the dump, can they pick it up and save the postage?
Yeah, they can come here. Pick it up. Yeah, we'll just send it to the landfill.
Yeah, okay.
What are those bites out of that donut for? What's that?
No, if somebody orders one of our products off of, we have socks too. You can get Panther socks.
Nice.
But anyway, you can pick it up too. You can choose the no ship option.
Nice.
You get Bobcats?
We got Bobcats too. We don't know what team has Bobcats, but
You got
find one.
you got a Bobcat shirt?
no.
Oh,
Wait, you want
okay.
one? I'll make one.
I don't know. I mean, there's a presentation at the library tonight. I think it's already all booked on Bobcats in Connecticut.
Jim's Bobcats. We'll do Jim's Bobcats.
Well, actually, on the farm of my great grandfather in Stratton, Vermont, they did some lumbering up there back in the 30s. I would say very early 40s on the property, and they built a lot of cabins.
Mhm.
And one day, this is my uncle who had infantile paralysis as a boy. He was going through the door, and a bobcat came out the window as he was walking through the door. The bobcat had been living in one of the small storage sheds.
Ryan Aubin says, well, he doesn't say that. He said, Plainfield Rec Director is doing a great job, and good morning from the Griswold Youth Center.
Thank you very much, Ryan. And he is doing a great job, and we will continue working to expand the programs that we have there. Maybe even one day we'll partner with Griswold for some things. And
Good idea.
And
Bike night.
while we're passing out,
Too soon.
while we're passing out plugs, I'd give a plug out to Ryan. I think he's done a great job as a youth director here in Griswold.
Yeah, he really has.
ask Ryan if I've ever spoken to him and called him and ask him what I spoke about.
Okay. Ryan, I'm going to call you after the show.
No, call him during the show.
Ryan, why don't you just call in? I'll put the number on if you want to. Watch, I don't even know if he's still there. But anyway, June says, got to go pick up signs.
There we go. That's one thing I do want to make sure we push that message out there. We don't want to leave signs up as what do we call that? Roadside
Trash.
We want to pick up as all of them. And I told him last night, you're gonna please go out and do that. But there's always gonna be one you're gonna go,
Mhm.
I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Just pick it up. That's fine. We'll take care of that. We just want to make sure we get back to a nice New England multicolored minus signs of roadside. So
Jamie O'Neill Eaton says Griswold is blessed to have Ryan Aubin. And Jamie, congratulations on your victory with the Board of Education. She was one of the candidates that
Nice.
were victorious. And somebody from the cheap seats, somebody named Luann, said, I'm still waiting for my wonderful husband to catch up on his chores around the house, yard, and farm.
well, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't either. You know.
Okay, just cut that
Luann,
one
are you
out.
in the right room? Are you in the right broadcast this morning? We don't know.
Not if she's asking me to do chores. She's not.
Oh, goodness.
I did say that I would take some time off after this and catch up on some of the chores that are due around the house. So
Gonna pick
whoever
up the
that
trash
Luann
in the
is, good
yard.
luck finding her husband to do that. So
How many of them are you?
I don't know.
There's 4, Kevin Cunningham.
Hmm.
So hit the ground running.
Yes, sir.
Any big projects that are coming that you've been working on that have nothing to do with the election, or
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
you want to give an update on? Or?
Dow Road Bridge. We're still working with the engineer to finalize the numbers so we can get that started up. We don't know if we're going to go closing off the road entirely or one-way traffic for a while. Obviously, with one-way traffic, it takes a little longer to do. Costs may be different on each one, but we're
Mhm.
working on that. I'm still waiting for the should be this week or next. We have light poles and lights coming in from a company we contracted with to put up on Railroad Ave
Mhm.
parking lot to make that much safer over there. So we'd already purchased and the work is done, ready to go for engineering and installation. You're just waiting for the parts. So that'll be probably the next couple of weeks. We'll see that happening. We are going to get right back into it with our 162 acres of open space and get a committee started soon to talk about what we'd like to have there: walking trails, nature trails, mountain bike trails, horse trails.
Where is the open space?
On Kate Downing Road. So
Okay, yeah.
if you're going at the beginning of Kate Downing Road, going up the hill,
Mhm.
just past where the overpass area is, there's the power lines.
Yep.
Right past that, there was a property for sale. We purchased that, another piece behind it to get to where what was landlocked 139 acres. Now we have 162 acres available for all of those options. So that committee will get started and talk about how they can engineer it properly. We're going to walk out with the state of Connecticut to take a look at the trails and see what might be available for us. We'll talk about the planning of how to thin the trees properly so you can get those trails in. And then, of course, we do have a little bit of money still in the open space account to take care of a lot of those things.
Just make sure you
Yes.
get plenty of parking.
That's 4 acres plus right in the beginning.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
You're talking about that 3.97 acre
Yes.
piece. Yeah.
Yep.
You just brought back some memories.
I heard on the news the other day, there's a lot of grant money out there for trails.
We're working on those as well.
Yeah, I heard on the news.
Yep.
It's multi-million dollars for trails.
I got a couple more emails this morning about it. So yeah.
So
Go ahead.
Are we aware of that?
I don't know.
It was. I mean, this is.
Well, you
this
would have
is
gotten the grant money, but we already applied. So
Yeah. But I heard there's money out there.
yeah. Well, I'm just saying. It sounds
I
like
don't know.
we missed the boat.
wouldn't that be
maybe.
something? No, wouldn't that be something that Tom Giard you could tell Tom about to jump on? I mean, no, because he's always wanted to do that river walk.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll show you how this works. Ready?
go.
You, sir, brought up an idea about grants. Would you like to be on the committee to help and support the accessing the grants and help the planning of that?
See, yeah. Most people will say no.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But both Paul and I are already on the economic development committee, and that's part of economic development.
I remember Tom talking about trails. I would hope he would have saw what I saw, saying that the money was out there.
Now, is that money still available, or did you say
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's still more coming.
Okay.
It just came out on the news like
Well,
last week.
Well, for all we know, Mario could be working on it.
That's
We don't
possible.
even know
Yeah,
about
we don't
it.
even
Yeah.
know that. Yeah.
I would hope that's the case.
Well, I mean, if we're in the general public, like we are, like me, I'm just in the general public. I don't know what he's doing, so I'm going to put it out there.
Yeah.
We've told Mario that if you want to talk and you have things that you'd like to speak to, he has our phone number. He knows where we are. We just don't hear from him. Here you go, Mario. We'd love to hear from you. Y'all shut up when I start talking like that. It's like, I'm not going to be Puss in Boots around here.
We play the politics.
Well,
I'm not.
We are.
In all honesty, maybe Mario, he's the town planner, and there's an economic development commission. Maybe it should be more on the economic development commission to take and get in here and put that out here. I mean,
You know what? I'm serious. You know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of the bullshit where everybody is like, I'm not telling anybody nothing, and we're not going to be transparent. There's no transparency. I want to see some freaking transparency in this town. It's like you got these people in their offices and they're shut down and they got their doors shut, but they're not telling anybody what the hell they're working on. And then all of a sudden they unload it on everybody.
well,
Don't look at me like that. You know it's true.
But I don't know anything either. How the hell do I know what's going on?
Right.
Oh, look at this guy.
That's what we need.
Well,
If we're doing something, talk about it. Let's get it out there.
well,
Let's not just sit there like and sipping our tea and saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm not going to tell anybody yet because I don't want to look bad."
Sometimes you can't say anything because
But there are a lot of times
it's
you can.
smart. Yes, there are. But sometimes there's things you have to keep close to the press until something becomes a reality. Am I right? You just can't. say
yeah, and that was the most recent case is really the data center stuff.
that.
I mean, we didn't put that out there until it was fairly well along.
Right. Because you can't.
You can't. Yeah,
can't
I mean,
say
you've got clients.
I
that-
understand that.
But we didn't know about the data centers either.
Paul, I'm not talking to the data centers.
I
I
know.
know about that. That was something that Got Space Data really wanted, or else it was going to go kibosh right away.
Yeah.
But there are tons of projects in this town that we don't know about, that we should know.
Yeah.
Well, give us a couple of examples.
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe they'll talk about them.
Well, you're talking about it. I mean, my interpretation of what you were just saying is that you found out about these things way after the fact. So that's
understand
what that's what I'm asking you.
I understand why you would think that. However, we had a situation where we did receive an email at one time telling us how things are supposed to go. And I'm like, all right, well, why don't you go ahead and call us? So we sent emails. Here's our number. Here's our number. Call us. Tell us about it. Tell us why we're wrong. Do you think we heard anything? No.
Okay.
But it pisses me off because, you know, you get these freaking keyboard warriors sit there, go blah, 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 but they can't back their shit up.
Boy, we got him wound up this morning.
I don't know. Wow.
That was it.
Oh my.
Hey, did you ever notice when I come in, things get fired?
Wow.
You amp me up.
I can
Jim.
get Mike wound up pretty easy, it seems.
I know.
God, I feel
got-
like a Ted Nugent song. Wang dang, sweet poontang right now.
Oh God.
Well, we'll see what happens as we move forward if the information comes out.
Now, I'm not saying that this administration isn't going to be. We don't know. So I'm not going to go ahead and kick them in the crotch because I have no idea what they're going to do. No, I am wound up, Paul.
You are.
I'm wound up right now. I'm sweating.
Wow.
Well, take your shirt off.
Oh, yeah.
No, whoa. Whatever. All right, here we go. You happy now?
You're supposed to do that to music.
I got $1 bill.
I'm definitely backing out of this one.
You know, I can't say anything about going forward because we don't know. We don't know about this administration.
Well-
We don't know what's going to happen. We can only hope, and we could, as residents, we put out the word of what we want to see. Okay, you're in there. We want to see this as a town. If you don't do it, then we know.
But there are going to be situations where things are going to be done that they're going to have to withhold from the public until something becomes a reality.
Part of that is, like, if I can throw some 2 cents in,
You put your nickels worth in.
part of that is
I will.
if there's an empty building that you have here and you hear that X, Y, and Z is supposed to be coming there, now the price of that property would go up if X, Y, and Z backed out.
Oh, I understand there are things that have to be kind of like, okay, you know, we're going to negotiate, you know, before anything is done because we don't want to ruin the deal.
Exactly.
I understand that, but there are a lot of things that are not.
I mean, yeah, should there have been more communication out there? Yeah, there are times when we think that should have been communication. And I have mentioned just a couple times about, if you know, I talked about telling people about how the infrastructure thing was going, and I was told, no, we want to make sure it's going to go and what's going to happen. You were there in the meetings when I asked that question.
Yep.
I was told no. So, because I, with you, I think that if you got some information, get it out to the public so they know what the hell's going on,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah, but see, there's financial implications and all of that stuff, and that's why you can't talk about it in public, because for just the reason you just said.
Right.
I mean, if you got a piece of property that you're thinking
yeah.
about selling, and you got a sign on it for $100,000, and all of a sudden, you know, you hear, oh, geez, economic development has got somebody coming in to talk about something like this, and now all of a sudden you raise your price to $350,
Right. Exactly.
and that's not benefiting the town or the developer.
Exactly.
I feel like a Baptist preacher all of a sudden.
Hallelujah. May you be blessed.
Oh,
My God.
God, now I'm going to get in trouble for making fun of them.
Yeah. Give that guy a donut.
Oh,
You know what? I'm just so tired of people getting offended by the littlest things. You know,
well,
I'm just
look at your woke Washington.
what? Woke Washington?
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
Yeah. the capital.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I'm just gonna let these two go.
Jim came in with metal chains going, yo, 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 this morning. No, I just,
Well, Mike, you know, I put it out there. I'm not
I
one
know.
that hides behind a keyboard. I put it out
nope.
there.
Jim, you're the least of it. You're the least of it. Jim, how many times have I said to you, I talk to you, I ask you questions. Why? Because there's no crap behind it. It's pretty much straight ahead, and I know I'm going to get facts.
You're gonna get the best answer I can
That's
give
right.
you at
And
the
the same
time.
thing with Paul. Paul knows I bust his balls all the time. That's on this. But when we're talking, is it like that?
So you only bust my balls when we're on the radio, then, huh?
Pretty much. So, I don't know. Kathy just said, every town meeting minutes don't offer information. So vague.
That's
Well-
absolutely true. What you have to do is you have to go and ask for a copy of the recording of the meeting.
Exactly. And a lot of people, a lot of secretaries don't want to write a lot of the detail. And a lot of stuff is mentioned at these meetings that should be recorded, and it does not.
Well, if
That's where you, as a member of the board and commission, should say at your next meeting, I would like to have more things included.
I
Here's
have.
an example.
I have done that.
And the chair does what?
There was no chair.
Oh,
Well, isn't there also, I don't know if it's formal regulations, but I mean, I've seen many places that you just put the highlights of the meeting into your secretarial report, because other than that, I mean, the reports are going to get pages long and nobody's going to read those either.
this is going to change soon because there's discussion on doing the meetings now being recorded and streamed as well live.
Well, Mike and
So-
I and another fellow in town, we've been pushing that for how many years, Mike? 3 or
5.
4, at least 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Well, in fact, my understanding is we are working on a PEGA grant right now, and my suggestion was, they were talking about the main meeting room in the town hall. I'm saying the selectmen's conference room in the town hall is used all the time for meetings. That should be wired. And the other thing is the new senior center, and I think that is in the plans to be wired, because I think that could be a huge promotional device for the new senior center.
Mhm.
All right, because a lot of seniors don't really realize what's going on. I mean, there's activities until COVID, there was activities going on there, line dancing, yoga class, all kinds of stuff that was going on there that I think a lot of seniors and even the rest of the town doesn't know about. I mean, there's been a huge amount of angst over the building of the senior center and the cost. Okay, well, let's promote it now, and let's make sure we get our value out of that.
What I was mentioning was the state of Connecticut is making it probably in 2022 mandatory about streaming and recording of meetings.
Oh, that's
that
great.
I'm against.
You are.
Yes,
I'm
I
not.
would say that if you do it town by town, no problem. Let's use an example. Sterling, Scotland. They don't have the funds.
Yep.
And that's the problem is the state's going to force them to do that.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things I talked about it yesterday morning, the unfunded mandates that are on the Board of Education. Okay. Untold tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars that does nothing to improving the education itself. It's a whole lot of data collection to a large degree, or some of these, what was the term I used just a few minutes ago? I forget. Some of these things for basically, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for at the moment, but if you're requiring the towns or the cities to do something, if the state is requiring it, they got to fund it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can make that happen, because we can just stop voting for the people that are serving, re-elect new people who are going to come out and say, yeah, I'm doing it. How many of these Congress critters do we got both in the nation and in the state that have been there for 10, 20, 30 years?
Well, let's hope the local elections, which happened yesterday,
Yep.
a lot of new people now are put in place. Let's hope this moves on to the next level.
See the change.
See the change. If people follow through, then we will see change. But you know as well as I do what ends up happening. They vote for the same people all the time.
Well, you weren't here yesterday morning, but I came in yesterday morning with a list of things that I want to know about the voters. So I had started to put the list of questions together, and I had said to Mike, I'd like to for the next election, especially for the town election, I'd like to get a couple of Republicans, a couple of Democrats, and a couple of independents to sit down and develop a list of questions, okay, and then send those list of questions out to everybody that is running for an office to answer those questions, okay, and how they feel about them. And if they don't return the form, we take and don't vote for them because they don't want to be transparent.
I agree with you, but that's not reality.
Well, Paul, see, there's the negative. Like I hear people all the time say, well, my vote doesn't count.
No, that's not
What?
what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you know as I do, that That doesn't work. Look at the Senate. They've been in it for 30, 40 years.
Because there's no consequence.
But
It's the same thing
yeah.
with this. There's no
But
consequence.
on a local level, you might have an opportunity to do that, and that does hold accountability right to that person who's running for office.
Exactly.
And then get back to the issue of the video and recordings.
I'm sorry.
The town of Plainfield is going to do that.
Yep.
So we're going to be ahead of the game. I just feel bad for towns like we talked about Sterling or Scotland or
Yep.
things like that, where they just don't have the funds to do it.
You know, I disagree, Kevin, because there are some very inexpensive options. All Sterling has to do is have to have an internet connection, which I'm sure they probably already do,
Mhm.
right? I'm sure they're not.
Let me hear the rest. So go ahead.
Okay, they're not using 2 tin cans and a string. I'm sure there's an internet connection. They can get a laptop. They can get a cheap camera. I mean, we're talking a camera
Keep
that's
going. I'm
like
waiting for
60,
it.
70 bucks.
I'm waiting for it. Keep going.
Oh, he's got his gloves on. Put that on there. Get a couple of kids maybe that are looking for community service
Stop right
hours.
there.
Okay.
Because you're not going to find it. I'll tell you why.
We don't have it here either.
Plainfield High School used to have the same thing. Used to run the Board of Education meetings with those students. They don't want to do it anymore. Now what do you do when the kids say, I don't want to volunteer anymore?
Mhm.
I'd rather get this.
What have I said to you too? Because I knew exactly you were going to say that. What did I say to you a million times when you had said, because the other person that we were alluding to that wants to do this
Yep.
said, we're going to go ahead and, we'll just go ask the schools, because there's the capstone program and
Mhm.
they need community service hours. And I said, they ain't going to do it.
Yeah, you said the biggest problem is getting somebody to do it.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So
So I agree with you. That's I was
And
hoping that's where it was going to go.
Now we'll expand it even further.
Okay.
Take a look at the Plainfield's calendar for events and all of our board meetings. They'll come out the first couple of weeks. And after that, because we have 3 or 4 meetings every week,
Mhm.
after a short period, they're going to say, done.
Yeah.
Yep.
No one's going to hold that camera.
Did I not say?
Yeah.
You'll get a few people come out a couple 2-3 weeks. I
all
sound
right,
Canadian now.
and I'm gonna make the same suggestion that I've
Yeah.
made as far as an HR person for the town. Okay, I've been agitating for that for years to take and find someone who was an HR professional that's retired and would like to earn a couple of extra bucks every month. Okay, and use them as a resource. So that's the same suggestion I'm going to make here. Find some person who loves photography or loves being in the video scene, and pay them a stipend to come in and deal with certain meetings.
However,
I mean, no, you got a comment to make.
Oh, absolutely.
let me just drop this in there real quick from a resident. Kathy says, I apologize for my ignorance. Okay, but why can't the board members just set it up and hit record?
Well,
Okay.
No,
Yeah, I'll give
that's
you-
why
I'll-
I
I'll
waited,
give
because I
you an
wanted
answer.
you to answer that.
I'll give you an answer to that too. Go ahead.
All right.
No.
So when you're recording a meet, by the way, it's not cheap equipment.
Oh, you can do it.
All right. What I want to do
I
is
do.
a 3 camera setup in the front, 1 from behind. I want a master control person doing the actual camera work. Every single person has a lapel microphone versus something in front of them, which half the time doesn't work.
Yep.
We want to be able to do this professionally and correctly with as minimum cost as possible. Is there going to be payment for that one person? Absolutely. But to get volunteerism or even a senior to come in, that's not going to do it on a regular basis. You have to build a budget for it. That's what I was getting at when I was talking about those other towns that have a problem, because now if they're mandated to do it and there's no funding for it, what do they do? I mean, I think we'll be okay in Plainfield. I'm sure you'll be fine here. But look at those other towns being forced to do something at a cost.
Okay, I have an answer to what you're going to do about the state mandates.
Mhm.
You refuse to do them. Okay, you absolutely refused to do them.
Well, in this case, I want to do them,
That's okay.
but there will be some that I'm sure they're going to come through that I will refuse.
Okay.
And that's the only way we're going to take and change any of these things
Mhm.
is to do that.
The hard part is picking and choosing the battle, because sometimes if you say to the state of Connecticut, educational cost sharing formulas are awful, still have been for years. But if you say to them, nah, we don't want your money, now you have a big problem.
And that's the problem. And I think I talked about that yesterday, didn't I, Mike, about
Yes.
money. that the system has been co-opted primarily by the federal government when they created the Federal Department of Education, Jimmy Carter. And apparently he was bribed into doing that by one of the major national teachers unions. Okay. And that was the beginning of the end of our local control of education. And we need to go back to it.
And it gets more,
And I think Dana Bennett, in fact, mentioned that. In fact, I called last evening as I was getting ready to go to the polls because I wanted to confirm that with her. She's in favor of local control of education, as am I. Get the money out of it from the state and the federal government because they have agendas.
Well, I think it's starting to show around the country that the biggest upset in Virginia was related to parents being upset the way that they're teaching their kids in school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a big upset. That's what led to the big upset in Virginia, if you recall. It was the parents getting together. They were both Democrats and Republicans. The parents were ticked because what the federal government, what the local state government was trying to push in their schools, and the parents took over. Now, I think you're going to see that becoming more and more. Parents are getting ticked off for what's being taught in schools.
and to that point, what I said before the election was, this is where it starts.
Absolutely.
You do the grassroots work in your local community, in your local government, and then continue that process going higher up each level. And eventually you will get change. How long it's going to take?
It's going to take a generation probably.
And you started that 2 years ago.
Yes, I did.
You're speaking exactly to what you did and what you started and now what you're going to be able to continue. I mean, we've been a big fan here of what you've done in Plainfield. I mean, all kidding aside and all joking, aside, Paul and I have talked about it. He's a huge fan of what's going on in Plainfield, what has happened, what's progressing, as am I. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you can't deny it
No.
of what's happening.
We're not going to be perfect. Every single person is going to have a misstep or a misquote or something that goes on in their administration, and you try to deal with it as best you can. But I think on the whole, if you just move every single aspect of your town forward and try to make sure you don't forget certain things, make sure you have everybody cooperate and try to work together, your town will be much better off. And that's what I've been trying to do. I don't deny the fact. I mean, my laundry list of everybody I want to talk about is you're talking about the seniors, you're talking about support for the police, you're talking about coffee house veterans, all the veterans. The residents of each and every town have so diverse areas which you have to support and acknowledge and support and do the best you can for them. You as a leader, you really should be looking at that platform across the board.
Yeah.
You try to help the Board of Education, the students. You try to make sure that the seniors are taken care of in case of COVID issues. You try to bring in business, economic development. You're working on personnel issues with staffing. You're trying to do all of these things at once. Don't take your eye off of any of them. And that's what I've been working on for 2 years, and I hope to do the same thing for the next 2 years. There's always going to be a curveball.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a curveball. But if you try to deal with it as best you can, and don't be afraid to ask for support. We have a NECOG, which we go to, and down here you've got CCOG. Ask other people what they've been through and what they've done. You'll be surprised at what you can learn. Even though you might think, I know everything, I certainly don't.
None of us do.
Yep. But don't be afraid that you take that step and make a mistake to learn from that and do something better the next time.
The problem, and I agree with everything you just said. The problem is you make one misstep, and that's the thing that always comes out to be thrown back at you.
Mhm.
They never talk about what the good things are that you did. It's what they get irked about.
Yep. And that's the part of politics. It's very difficult for people to understand, but it happens. It does happen. I do thank you for your time, John.
Oh.
I am going to have to run because I have chores to do with my wife, I guess.
Well, you are
It sounds like it.
Luann's husband, so I mean.
That Luann? Oh.
Oh!
I thought he was talking about a different Luann.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll talk to you all soon.
Okay.
Whenever you want me.
All right.
As long as I don't have to bring the donuts in, that's fine.
It's my turn next. I know.
Yeah.
Take
Bring
care.
Bring the coffee for those
Thanks,
that drink
Kevin.
coffee.
It's Kevin Cunningham, first selectman, reelect in the town of Plainfield. Boy, did I get amped up. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I want to go back to economic development because, I mean, people don't like their taxes. All right. The only way we're going to reduce the tax rate is to get some real economic development here. And I think we're on the verge of that. Okay.
And I hope the new administration continues on that.
Yeah. I
Don't
certainly,
knock it down, because this is an opportunity to get some big money in here, and I think we need it.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
the tax rate as you and I, when we were talking about this 2 or 3 years ago, I mean, one of my themes was to try and reduce the tax basis
Absolutely.
for the town. I mean, and if these data centers, and you're saying that some people are knocking the data centers for
Yeah.
noise.
Noise.
Do you live in a street? Do you have a lot of traffic on it?
This noise.
Okay, there's noise, a lot more noise than you're ever going to get out of a data center. Okay,
Correct.
and that's the other thing. People need to educate themselves.
Right.
Okay, and as you guys, I don't do anything on social media, but as you guys keep saying, there's keyboard warriors. I guess that's one of Mike's favorite terms.
Well, I think
Get out there and work. Get out there and join a board. Get out there and do
they
something.
won't, though, because they don't understand the problem. They don't understand the issues. They don't know what the hell is going on. Somebody says something to them and they don't like it, so they get on the keyboard.
Yeah.
So,
And then they don't back it up.
right.
And that's my biggest problem.
Exactly.
I can't stand that. It's like, I'm all for healthy debate. I really am. And I've mentioned it before many times. I can disagree with you and still play in the same sandbox.
Yes.
But some people don't believe that. It's a fight. It's not a debate. It's a big difference, right?
Right.
Well, see, I like working in a small committee environment, okay, as opposed to an individual environment. Because if we have a group of dedicated people, and when I say a small group, I'm talking about 3 or 4 people, okay? Because now you have a debate, and what you can end up with is you end up with all of the ideas coming together, and you come out with the best possible project that you can, because you have a digression of opinions.
Right.
Okay, when you work and when you go close yourself in an office, and one of my former bosses, that was his philosophy. He just wanted to go in his office, come up with a solution to the problem, and then present it. Okay, I don't think that's the way you get the best results.
That's why you have members on your team
Exactly.
to come up with the ideas. I mean, that's the way I worked.
Me too, Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the family life, okay, we have discussions about things.
Yeah.
Come up with the best solutions.
Right. Exactly.
It's funny, on TV, they have a show called The Voice or The View.
The View, which,
We're called The Skew.
oh man, I've never watched it, but I've heard a lot of negative comments about it.
But The View.
The View.
I think we're a little smack daddy in your face. And I think we say things that people, are afraid to say themselves.
You talking about this radio station?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
We're not causing disarray. I think we're saying a lot of things that people, and not just me, but you, Paul, and you, Jim, and Rich, when he comes in, and I think it's a matter of we say things that people maybe are afraid to.
did he win?
Yes, Rich did.
I mean, he joined public health and safety, and he was hardly on the committee, and we had a project we're working on.
Boom,
And
he's right there.
and he went home, and he drafted up a policy.
Yeah, he's no joke, man. He's a good
No,
guy.
he's. I'm really pleased to have made his acquaintance, and
Mhm.
he's working on a board with us.
and he comes in here.
Yeah,
he
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
when he can. I mean, he
because
between his-
Paul's retired. He only
Mhm.
works 3 days a week now.
That is true.
On rare occasions, he comes in on a Tuesday or a Thursday
Well,
Rare,
yeah.
rare.
if there's something
If
interesting.
there's something that needs, whatever, Paul is always here.
Yeah.
Paul always says, "All right, I'll come in." And he'll come in and go, "I can't believe I can't find a parking space out there. Holy crap, You believe the way that people park? They park over there. It's over the yellow line.
Hey, and I got
They're gonna get a ticket."
I got an idea. Okay. No, I can't put it out yet. Put it out yet.
Kathy,
I'll have to consult with Mike before I put that one out there.
Kathy, of course, her last name is Wasilek. Ah!
Oh, so she heard me praising her husband, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, boy.
She says, "Do I get credit for proofreading that draft policy?" LOL, laughing emoji.
Well,
Yeah,
I hate to tell you, but we did rip it apart.
Huh?
We ripped it apart when he came
but
in.
that had nothing to do with the proofreading.
No.
I mean, that was just a draft, and
That was
that's
a
what it
draft.
was called. I
That's
mean,
what's good. It was a good
and
starting
it gave us a
document.
start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a good starting document.
Yeah.
We did rip it to hell, though.
And I didn't get to participate in that. 'cause
No, you weren't there.
Well, we eat dinner, we eat our meals at 5:30, and so 5:30 meetings don't work.
Well, we got
6 o'clock meetings are really tough.
We got enough 5:30 meeting coming up. So
Well,
Do you really eat 5:30 every single day?
just about, yes.
I'm surprised because you're an old guy. Old guys eat like 4.
Well, it's she's trying to balance.
Speaking from
No,
She's trying to balance the times for everybody's schedules.
Oh, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
My grandson gets home a couple of days a week, not until like 7 o'clock.
Oh, you wait that long?
No, we don't. Okay. But I'm willing to.
Oh, okay.
does anybody get a beating if they don't make it for dinner at 5:30?
No.
All right.
But
But there's a caveat.
hey, I'm defending the women here.
Okay.
You know, you're planning on making a meal for 5:30 and nobody shows up until 6:30. How many times are you going to put up with that?
I don't know. Then you make dinner.
I'm capable of it. I have enough responsibilities.
There are
And
a
I don't
lot
need
of-
any help from you, Mr. Minarski.
And Daryl Nadu says, "And in bed by 7?"
No.
No, Jim's up all damn night.
I read 4 or 5 hours a night.
Yeah. I was just gonna make a comment too about something.
Yeah, you're getting like me, Mike. You're forgetting things.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
Well, we haven't talked at all about the local election here, the town election. I mean,
No. Well, I mean, we had we kind of
we
did.
had,
and
we had
didn't.
about
I
5
mean-
minutes before Kevin came in.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say is that we do have a lot of first timers,
Yes.
in Griswold. Not necessarily always first timers in other town. I mean, but just first timers in Griswold. Well, let's start right at the top. Dana Bennett, first time. You can't say that because she's the RTC chair. So,
Right.
So she's really been a part of a board, in town. So, but she is the
But as far
gonna
as a
be-
formal town board,
right.
Yeah.
She's now the first selectman. Richard Matters.
I don't
Richard
know.
Matters.
I don't know him.
I have yet to meet him. I don't think you have either, Paul.
No, he's kind of like been absent on this whole thing.
He is, huh?
He walked on the street, I wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but we never got to see him.
He got a ton of votes for nobody knowing who he was.
Well, I think
That's that's the reason what you were talking about earlier, the red wave or the red tsunami.
Yeah.
Tsunami.
However, he does have family in this town. Number one,
Yeah.
and number two, when you talk about experience, if you don't know, we know,
Mhm.
but as residents, if you're not aware of his experience, he was more than a decade first selectman in Franklin.
he should be invited in so we can get to talk to him. I mean, we've never, like I say, I wouldn't even know if he walked in the door. Who
Yeah,
knows?
me neither.
Right.
And I think he should be, other than going to a meeting, he should be out there so we know who he is.
Mhm.
So we meet him in a
So-
diner or a restaurant. We say, hi, how
Well,
are you?
so show up at a board of selectmen meeting and you're going to meet him.
Yeah, but
Tom Pulaski, first time.
Yep.
Gary Bolak, first time on a Griswold board.
Yeah, because he was a finance board member up in Plainfield.
For
Wasn't he?
years. He's
Yeah.
been in town here for 9 years. So, but we're talking, it's kind of like, you buying a new car or you buying a new to you car. He's new to us.
Yeah.
As far as being on the board. I know I'm going to forget
Yeah,
somebody. As far as being an elected position, Rich Wasilek.
Yeah.
He's on the public safety board, but that's not an election.
He just joined.
Okay, so now he won an election,
Yeah.
and so like talk a lot of first timers. David Bennett,
He's been on board.
he was an alternate,
Yeah.
but now he's a full-fledged member now.
Yeah.
These are all faces that people are like, they've never seen before. Greg Allard.
Yeah, I wouldn't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know who he is
Mhm.
either.
I can't remember. I gotta look now.
Yeah.
There's a lady that and
Heather.
no,
Oh,
you're talking about Heather.
She's a Burgess a Burgess on the borough.
Glover?
No,
No, it's Gregory Allard. We just mentioned
did I
him.
got the wrong name there? Maybe I got the wrong
I
name.
think you do.
I just met her for the first time the other night.
I gotta find this. Because if I don't, Melissa Cassidy,
Yeah,
another new face.
I heard good things about her. I don't know her either.
I met her once or twice in passing. We've had some small conversations, through private messaging.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There are others. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
You're not talking Shannon Webster,
No.
okay? Because she's on the board.
She's on
of
the board of
education.
Ed, yeah.
Jamie Eaton. This is the first time that she's been elected to the board of ed.
Yeah.
The only Democratic position that was held was Val Pudva.
And Leona.
But
But she had
that
no
is correct.
yeah.
That is correct.
She had no opposition.
She did, but then that person retracted.
Oh, okay.
Well, in talking with Leona, because there's a lot of experience required to be a tax collector.
Yeah.
So I think there might have been not anybody.
It's like, whoa, I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, because there's a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah,
she's
and-
well qualified.
and Leona is very well qualified. She
Right,
does a really
so
good. She does a really
to
good job.
just jump on board without any qualifications,
Mhm.
maybe it was a smart move for that person.
Yeah.
to drop.
So I think the Board of Education, I think you're probably going to remain with the same chair, which is Mary Beth Malin. She garnered the most votes from anybody on the Board of Education.
Uh-huh.
So I think that she's going to remain the BOE chair. Board of Finance, Scott Davis is the chairman right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will change. But who?
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say it's probably going to, Alex Kreslak
Yeah,
is
it
going to
could
get
be.
that.
Yeah.
What else are we looking at? P&Z.
Yeah.
Martin McKinney.
Oh,
He's not going to lose that.
oh,
He's a Republican,
Oh, okay.
and they control that board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see any reason why he would lose that. He's done a great job with that.
Well,
Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
Dana Bennett now, Richard Matters, and then Todd Babbitt.
yeah, it's a complete switch.
Yeah.
Switch of control. So we'll see what happens. Got to give them time to see what they do.
That's how we started this morning, by saying, "Hey, we'll have to see what happens."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, more important for us right here, next to the town. Obviously, that's the most important one. Is the state coming up in 2022?
I tell
Okay.
you, I think if Lamont was up for election this past weekend, he'd be on his way out.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Because of what he's taken
Yeah.
over control, and
Yeah,
he's had all these executive orders.
I'm Mr. Dictator.
Well, yeah, good thing you said dictator and not the other word.
What was the word you were thinking? of?
Nothing. We're not. No.
I'll tell you offline.
You want me to just shorten the word?
No,
dictator?
I don't even want to allude to it.
Oh,
No, but I think he would have lost.
I think so too.
I think he would have lost.
I mean, I was in favor of Lamont to some degree because he was a business person, and I thought he'd come in there with some business experience. Okay, well, part of the problem is the public employee unions, and I'm not knocking the public employees. Okay, but unfortunately, you have to cater to those unions if you want to maintain your positions.
Yeah.
I think if he gets opposed next time, which he will,
Which is 22.
next year, right?
22.
Yeah. I think somebody that could beat him is Heather Summers.
possible. If she's well known, I don't know how well known she is. She's known in this
I think
part.
she's a lot more well known than she was 4 years ago.
Well,
Well,
if you recall, Mike, when I first met that lady here, and I've met her a lot of times on this radio station,
Mhm.
after meeting her for about 2 times, I said, Heather Summers for president in 2028.
That's not too
President of the United States in 2028. I know she did, but she's a really down to earth, common sense lady.
That's the problem.
You're right.
That's the problem. She's got common sense.
You know,
That's the problem. The problem is that she's from eastern part of the state, and let's face it, the western part of the state controls. If she gets over there, and she gets it, no, there's a lot of town mayors and town council people that want to run for this thing. You know, we'll see, but it's going to be tough because it's only part of eastern Connecticut. But some of the big towns on the other part of the state turned red as well. So we'll see. I mean, some of them can remain.
you know what's going to be interesting is to look at the cities and see whether many of those turned red.
Well, I tried to find that, but it's really not out there. You know. Well, New Britain is still red. She got her third term.
Aaron Stewart.
Yeah, she got her third term.
Mm-hmm.
There's another up and growing politician right there.
Well, so this is her third term.
This is her third term. Yeah.
This is Aaron's third term.
Yeah.
She actually ran for governor quickly.
Yeah.
For a minute, a cup of coffee, and then she pulled out.
So we'll see.
But she's I think now she's only 30.
She's in her 30s now. She was 20 something when
She was
she got-
22.
Oh, yeah.
She
She
got
was the youngest elected mayor in Connecticut or something.
Yeah.
Well, apparently her father was involved with politics in the town.
Yeah.
area.
Oh, that carries a lot of weight, probably.
Mhm. So yeah, she's been the mayor since her early 20s.
Yeah.
And now she's just I mean, she's well liked.
Yeah,
She's
is.
well liked in the town of New Britain. So
Yes, exactly.
So we'll have to see what happens going forward in Griswold. I mean, obviously, there's been a big paintball of red went down Main Street last night.
Yeah.
So we shall see what happens. The only thing we can hope for is you always want things to get better.
Exactly.
You know, no matter who's in there, you want things to get better. And I think right now we're at the question of the unknown. We don't know. But one thing is for sure, Jim, one thing is for sure, Mr. Lash,
Yeah.
is that not just Griswold, not just Plainfield or Eastern Connecticut or Connecticut, the entire country made a statement yesterday.
They did.
Yep.
They made
They
a statement,
Yes, they have.
and that they wanted something to change. So when you and I sing that song of go to the polls and vote, this is what happens.
A lot of people voted,
Mhm.
which is good.
So I want to say thank you to Sarah for this right here, and I only put it up on the board because I'm flattered and I'm I don't feel like I deserve comments like this, or well, Paul certainly doesn't deserve it, but Sarah says thanks SNSN for giving us all different opinions, a platform for respectful conversation, not an easy task to moderate, and she says you do it so well. And I said, so, and thank you, Sarah, but it's really all of us. I'm just a cog in the wheel.
You're the facilitator.
Yeah, but perhaps, but Jim, you're a big part of that. Paul, you're certainly a big part of that. Jesus, even Al Gear, when he comes in, he's a part of that. Rich Waslick, he's a part of that. Chris Goodenough, he's a part. I can go on and on and on. Scott Fryer, when he jumps in, he's a part of it. And if you think about it, I'm really just talking about people in our community that's putting ideas out there together via this place that we call SNSN. So it's a team effort. It's a community effort. When people get into the chat board and they take part in these broadcasts, it's them too. It's also it's everybody. It's one community effort, and it would be nice to see if this type of community can translate to popular politics that people are, as a whole can be proud of. Before, we got back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we sit right in the middle of that crux.
Right.
Sometimes we go, whoa, to the right. Sometimes, whoa, to the left. You hear different opinions. I think the hardest part is just keeping it straight down the middle.
Right.
So, Jim, do you have any comments on that?
Well, I think what you said is that we need a balanced show here, and I think to a large degree we probably have that.
I think so too.
I mean, I come in with some pretty strong opinions on many different subjects, and I'm not in favor of Republicans. I'm not in favor of Democrats. I'm in favor of the people who are going to do the best job.
We're not an outlet where we're going to sit here and just placate Republicans. We're not an outlet that's going to sit here and placate Democrats. They have those. Those are out there. That's not us. We don't want to be. Never wanted to be that. Paul, do you have any comments about that? Or
I agree with you.
so, and Jen Gauthier, who ran a wonderful campaign, and straight up, honest, and the lady knows her stuff. I'll be honest with you.
Another person I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for encouraging people to vote no matter what side of the aisle they are on. It is important for people to know they have a voice. Thank you for making the information known to all so that they can have the proper information relative to the election of our leaders. Well, thank you. But it's really you. It's really you guys.
Well, let me ask you. Well, I guess this. I was going to ask you whether the senior center was a huge swing in the thing, but based on the fact that we have, it's not just Griswold. If it was just Griswold, I would say the senior center was a big issue, and it is a big issue. Okay, but in as much as it was a red tsunami, that was not the turning point.
No. It wasn't. I think people will use that, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, no. It was coming. And I absolutely believe it was coming because of the national scene.
That's exactly right. I think
you're right.
So unhappy what's going on.
Yeah,
this woke and this cancel culture stuff is not making people very happy.
Yeah, CRT, critical race theory, all this crap.
Oh yeah, people are not happy at all.
Right.
Not happy with their kids are being taught in school. Not that they're being taught something right here, but around the country, there's just a lot of things going on where people are very, very upset what their kids are being taught. That parents are taking over. It's a new organization that's probably going to grow as time goes on. And this is only the start. I'm curious what 2022 is going to be like. It's going to be interesting to see if the red tide continues.
Yeah.
Well,
there was a couple of key Democrats in national elections, I believe. Maybe I'm not sure. Joe Manchin, for one. I don't know if there was an election in West Virginia or not. I think there was, but I'm not sure.
Well, there was a governor's election
In West Virginia,
and the Republican won.
Okay, well then Joe Manchin probably was up for re-election, and he's a conservative, a Democrat, and Biden and Pelosi they want to spend $6.5
He's
trillion.
The one that's stopping it, right?
Him and a lady, I'm not sure, I forget what state she's from. Alabama. I don't know if she's from Alabama, maybe Alabama. I'm not sure. Those two are the ones that have been holding back this $6.5 or $6 trillion they call infrastructure thing. Infrastructure to me is roads and bridges.
There's a lot of
and there's very little of that. And that one they passed, I think, was what, $1.25 trillion, I think, is what already has passed.
Yeah.
There's very little money in there for actual infrastructure. It's all a cover for all kinds of other woke stuff.
Yeah. Whoa, Jim with the terminology today.
Yeah.
That's a little sus, Jim.
Jim woke up.
That's woke, yo.
I generally try to stay away from the derogatory terms.
You're so sus.
Sometimes it's hard.
I
let me tell
know.
ya.
So let's look at it this way. Here's some here's some lyrics or a quote that maybe this is what people are thinking today. Maybe they're not, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there. I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride. It's a whole new world, a whole new point of view. No one to tell us no or where to go, woke, or say we're only dreaming. It's a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But when I'm up here, it's crystal clear that the residents have voted to change things with a whole new world with you. I changed it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Nothing against the people that were in office before.
Well, I don't think the ones that are in office did a bad job. I just think that people want to change.
Yeah.
I think any Democrats took a big hit because we all said it.
I mean, I believe, and I want to believe that the people that we've had in office in this town, to a large degree, as long as I've been here, and I've been here about 20 years, with few exceptions, have been basically honest people who want to do what's right. And I will not say that beyond the local governments. The state
No, I
and the
think you're
federal
right.
government
I think you're right.
is so corrupt, it's
I
unbelievable.
think you're right.
So Jennifer just said, she goes, Mike, did you just say sus? That is hilarious. All right. That is going to do it for us today. We will continue this conversation, I'm sure, another day, but not right now. I think we've spoke it into the ground. So, Paul, thank you very much for coming in. Jim Barney, as always, thank you. And
You're welcome.
Most of all, thank you to the residents and people that joined us in our chat room this morning.
And to all of those that turned out to vote.
And all the people that turned out to vote. Your news and views are always welcome here. We want to hear what you have to say because nothing happens unless it starts with a conversation, correct?
Right.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
And that doesn't include the 78% that